As the appointed hour has arrived, we'll go ahead and call the special magistrate regular meeting of Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026 to order. And I'll ask for a staff roll call, please.
Drew Smith, City Attorney.
John Gifford, Code Enforcement.
Michelle Figicello, Clerk to the Magistrate.
Very good. Thank you. The minutes of June 24th meeting, any additions, corrections, deletions, and yes, I did do a sua sponte amendment to an order relative to one of the matters. Anything else?
No request from the city.
Okay. Anything from you?
No, sir.
All right. Very good. All right. Deletions or changes to today's agenda?
There'd just be a request for a telephonic appearance for item 8A.
Okay, well, when we get to that, we'll go that route. That'll be fine. And that's because of attendance issue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. First item we do have as a matter to be heard is a parking citation appeal on citation number 3222 Emil Valentine, and this was a citation issued by Flagler County Deputy Miller. Is Mr. Valentine here, sir? If you would, please step to the podium and stand by 1 minute. I don't know if the mic is on. Is there a yellow light on in front of you? If you'll tap the button.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Please raise your right hand. You swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and the testimony you're about to give?
Yes, I do.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
For the record, would you please state your full name and residence address?
Sure. Emil J. Valentine Jr., 36 Del Palma Drive, Palm Coast, Florida.
Okay, well, let me speak to why you're here, and then we'll get into the nature of your appeal, which I'm fairly aware of already. But it appears that you were issued a citation. Oh, this is not very legible. For parking in a no parking zone, which happens to be one of the areas reserved for emergency vehicles adjacent to the beach, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And you have submitted your appeal in association with that, some photographs depicting a vehicle which appears to be a, is it a tow vehicle?
Kia Sportage.
Okay, and which is gray or light blue in color?
It's blue, but my printer is having some issues.
Okay.
I tried to fix it, and I made some new pictures, but it's still not working right.
And let's see, I'm trying to, it looks like this was on May 25th of this year, is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. All right. What time? Sometime in the afternoon. This copy is very poor.
Yeah.
What do you want to tell me about it, sir?
Well, I thought we were legally parked because we're not past the sign. The sign is there, so there's no parking anytime with arrow pointing that way, and we're, clearly not in the area of the sign. And so we're just, my wife and I were like, well, why did we get this ticket? So we're just.
And I tend to agree with you, sir.
The city does also.
Yeah.
It's a close enough call that we're willing to dismiss.
Yeah, and we'll go that route. But just for a second, I'm going to seize the moment to explain why it becomes a concern for the benefit of those folks who may be participating or watching the hearing online, in order to educate everybody about the importance of preserving that space. And that is that if somebody's drowning, having a heart attack, who knows what, a child's choking, that space adjacent to the beach is critical for the fire department, ambulance, police, if necessary, to access, and that's the important point of it. But
Absolutely.
by your own photograph, I see maybe a 1-inch violation. I'm not gonna beat you up over that, but
I've been watching soccer for a month for the World Cup, and it reminded me of the offside line. You know, they put up the graphic on the TV during the World Cup matches.
Well, they're very, very careful to be in front of the sign. So, there are lines on the road, but they don't match the sign. So we were like, well, I think the sign should be president over the line.
Which is a good point. What do those lines mean to you?
I don't know. I've only been in Florida for about a year and 4 months, so I'm not sure. But
The stripe lines?
yeah, I mean, all the other signs lined up with the lines, but this one didn't. But usually we go by the sign, so I don't know. But
Well, curiously, were the stripes beyond the sign or short of the sign?
I don't remember now. But we came out the
That's a
next.
convenient answer, I know. But
That was a while ago.
technically, anywhere you have hash marked diagonals along the roadway, that is a no stopping, no parking, no access area. And it's for a variety of reasons. It can be safety, it can be, reserved for emergency vehicles, any number of things.
Yeah, we would not want to inhibit any of that.
But if there's confusion, it's the burden is on the government to do things in a manner that mitigates confusion. And unfortunately, for the city, that's something that probably needs to be cured, so that they eliminate the confusion. Anyway, we're going to give you an order here where your appeal is being granted and the matter is being dismissed.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But, as challenging as parking is in Flagler, please make a point of, if you have to walk, take the hike. That you don't, wrong way parking is a repeat of the event here, and, or parking on sidewalk, which is a hazard. And, the premise is everything that I'm going to hear is going to be circled around safety. The violations are all geared about safety. So we just want you to be safe, and we want everybody else to be safe too.
Me too. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Take care.
Sorry you had to come in, but thank you for doing so. All right, sir. All right, no other parking appeals today.
No, sir.
Okay. All right, then do we have any new code enforcement cases today?
No, sir.
All right, so it's just continuing on the matters that have been heard. And the first one is there anyone here from Palm Coast Holding? No. Okay. You are here from Palm Coast? I'm going to take you first so as to mitigate you having to sit around and cool your heels. Can you work that, John? All right, let's do that. So, for the record, this will be status update on case number EEN 260031 Palm Coast Holding Group, LLC, formerly known as Xander Holding Group, involving property at 2038 South Ocean Shore Boulevard. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
And if you would, please swear this gentleman.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. John, what are you going to tell me today?
This is current as of this morning. Can't tell that anything's been done on the outside. It's still obviously a hazard. We're already in the hurricane season. We've been lucky. I have information that they applied for a permit. Applied for a permit April 8th, and they issued it April 9th, but I show no inspections or anything taking place on that property.
Who pulled the permit, do you know?
It doesn't give the name of the section that I can get into that I know about.
Was it owner pulled or a contractor?
I would assume it's a contractor, but I don't know.
Okay, all right. Do you have anything else?
No, sir. We get no communication from them. They have no provide us with a status or anything.
Okay. All right, now, good afternoon again, sir. For the record, would you please state your full name and residence address?
Yeah. J. Todd Book, 1 Augusta Trail, Palm Coast, Florida.
And what is your relationship to this matter, sir?
I'm one of the owners.
And is that with Palm Coast Holding Group?
Yeah.
Okay. this was a property, was formerly titled as Xander Holding. Has the title been transferred?
Yes,
Okay. And were you part of Xander Holding as well?
I was.
Okay. Well, you've heard what the city has indicated as far as lack of progress. What do you want to tell me about it?
About 3 weeks ago, I was told, I'm not that involved in the business, so maybe that's my issue, but 3 weeks ago, I was told that there was a tarp put up on the side of the building to keep this siding from becoming an issue. So I thought everything's good. I got your message. I said, let me just drive by 2 days ago, Monday, I guess it was, and nothing's done. They put a tarp on the roof.
Who in your organization has the responsibility to oversee getting this problem resolved?
Well, there are a few people, but I trust that they're going to do what they say they're going to do, and they contacted the contractor. They told me that the tarp was up. That would have been something, at least at this point, but it's not done. And so that's where it's at. I think.
Who is your contractor? Do you know?
I can't even remember the name. Something Marine.
All right. Does that ring a bell?
The contractor on record says Outback Marine Construction.
All right. Have you had any discussion personally with your contractor?
I have not personally, no.
Are you going to do so?
I will.
Okay. Look, there's a saying in the law that, a lot of folks want to be a director of a corporation or an LLC or whatever, but that does not give them a free pass if there is a situation that they should know about. And the premise is directors must direct. In your case, you're I don't know what your title with the LLC is, but, the manager or whatever, you have to manage. So, whoever has that responsibility, it's, everybody's going to suffer for it not being fulfilled as an action. The goal here is to get things taken care of. Obviously, that's not acceptable. It's an eyesore, but it's also a hazard. If we do have a storm and, one came up in a couple of days in the Gulf, we could just as easily have been here. And so we don't want your property to suffer, and we certainly don't want the adjoining properties to be at risk because of the hazard of materials flying around. So what's the game plan?
I don't have one yet.
Can I help you in that regard?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll take advice.
First of all, I think I'd be in touch with my colleagues in the organization to say, what the heck are you doing? Right. Number two, I might suggest that you take the initiative to reach out to this contractor directly and say, well, you were hired to take care of this. Why isn't it taken care of? Obviously, a permit was pulled 4 months ago, and so, we need to get this resolved. That's my goal. And the leverage I have is to make it expensive until it's taken care of. But I'm looking for assurance from you that we're not going to have a, recurring problem here.
Well, I mean, if they had put something up there to protect it, it would have been, I think that would be sufficient for the moment. And that's what I think we probably will end up trying to do.
The order that's been issued right now is for cure by June 14th. So, I mean, if we were talking fines day, we'd be looking at June 14th for cured, not just mitigated by, but cured by June 14th. So those fines technically are running as of today. And the city is willing to, as always, the city is willing to work with respondents, but we have to get to compliance before we can work with somebody.
And that's absolutely correct. I don't know if y'all are investors or what the purpose of your organization might be, but you've heard what the city attorneys had to say here, and you're looking at already some pretty substantial fines accumulating, and they'll continue to run until things are resolved. A tarp is not a fix. That's just a Band-Aid. And the requirement here is a repair that meets the requirements of code. So, I'm looking, you're pleading ignorance, and I understand that you were relying on somebody else to take care of this, but you're going to suffer the consequences for it having not been resolved if we don't get it taken care of pretty quickly.
Good.
And what we do with the fines is going to be somewhat contingent on how rapidly and completely things get squared away. And I always look to you as the individual to reach out to the city. It's not the city's obligation to reach out to you to find out where things stand. We're working on it. I talked to the contractor. John is more than happy to speak with you. He'll give you his card. Call him. Say, I talked to the contractor. We're going to have to hire somebody else, or they're going to get on this immediately, whatever it might be, but we need an action plan that is implemented rapidly. And, you can do the math, $250 a day from June 14th, we're already multiple thousands of dollars of potential lien.
Yeah, thanks. I have it from the last. Thank you.
And again, I'm not trying to get into your wallet. The goal here is to get the problem resolved. Whether the city has a different perspective on that, I can't speak to, only for myself in my role. But, I want to see this taken care of, because that's what it needs to be done.
Yeah, so do I.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right, so let's go out here with a specific plan of action that we all can pinpoint on our, calendar to know what's going to happen. I'm looking at you.
No, we'll get with the contractor and see what their schedule is, and see if there's anything that can be done short-term or full fix.
It's very vague. That's the part that concerns me. And I understand you kind of walked into this blindly, and you're at a disadvantage to offer any specifics. But I think what I'm going to say is, I think we need to see a work on the problem to fix it within the next 10 days. That no longer. In the meanwhile, the fines are going to continue to run, but that gives your contractor more than adequate time to get going. If they have other work and they can't do it, then the burden's on you to get somebody else who can. And the city will help you in that regard if there's a need. But, Drew, do you all have any different feelings on this?
Just in line with, I think, what you're saying, looking for a carrot. And I was just asking if I had permission to say, if this property is in compliance in 30 days, we will ask for costs, but not fines.
There is a carrot. That's an incentive to get it fixed. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring you back in 30 days to, so that we have an update on the status. And I would say, but, you need to get the contractor out there instanter. We're going back to April, and this problem existed long before that. That was when it was initially heard, and there was a large window of time offered for it to be cured between then. That was 60 days, and here we are, yet another month beyond that plus, and still there we are. Okay.
Got it.
I'm not trying to be unreasonable, and I hope you don't feel I am.
I don't think so.
I'm doing my job. Okay. All right. Well, please let John know what's going on at your earliest opportunity. Okay. Let's say today, if you can let him know before the week is out what's going on. You should be able to talk to the contractor between now and Friday. How about Monday?
I'll work on it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm trying to give you incentives, and the city's offered one as well, so let's see if we can make things happen.
All right.
But, you know, remember the adage, directors must direct. In other words, put on the spurs and put them in the side of the pony. Okay?
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
So do you want him noticed for a status hearing on August 26th?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
All right, sir. Okay. Will you be able to generate an order for me on that? Okay. Are we clear on what it's going to say? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, let's move now to matter 8A, which is EN 26-10178, and that's Audrey F. Rutowski Westbrook and Michael Westbrook as joint tenants with right of survivorship, 2228 South Central Avenue, and that will be a telephonic hearing.
Okay, hang on 1 second, I'm gonna switch on something.
Audrey, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please raise your right hand.
Raised.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the testimony you're about to give?
I do.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Gregory Pop, the magistrate. How are you today?
I am well. How are you?
I'm well as well. So thank you for that. I'm going to ask the city to give me a report on where we are, and then I'll look forward to hearing from you following that. Okay?
Great.
So please stand by and listen. Here we go.
Let me back up for you here just a little bit. This was this morning. I mean, I think she knows we have the same issues. Check to see if there was a permit. They applied for a permit, or her contractor did. She might need to explain that for us. But the permit was never issued or obtained.
It's not been picked up?
No, sir.
Has it been paid for?
No, sir.
So it's really a permit application and nothing
Yes,
more?
sir.
Okay. What, has any kind of corrective measures been accomplished?
We had multiple cases here, and they took care of the others.
Okay.
I think that the rumor was that something about a contractor didn't like the amount of the fees and might have pulled out. So we would kind of need to hear from her.
Okay.
Maybe she wants to explain what happened.
All right. I don't know if you could hear that, ma'am. Were you able to, or do you want me to summarize?
Not very well.
Okay. All right. What I understand from John is that a contractor applied for a permit but did not follow through with actually obtaining the permit, paying the fees, etc. Although on the other matter that was pending, there has been compliance. Okay, so we're down now only to the one issue, and I guess the first thing that would be appropriate for you to report to me is what the status is with your contractor and the required permit and us getting this particular situation in the works to get fixed. How about that?
How about that? As I understand it, I spoke with Austin from Beck Built day before yesterday, and he has submitted for the permit, but the building, and I'm trying to remember exactly, somebody from the building department wanted engineering plans. So that, paused the full contract from being done, and Russell Rowan has been contracted, it's an engineering firm in Jacksonville, to submit the required engineering documents and whatever it is exactly that the engineering company offers,
Give me one.
before we can get a work start.
All right, give me 1 second. I want to ask the city a question. Is the work that's required here structural such that it does require engineering analysis?
Building inspector's out there with me. He just talked about what needed to be done and it needed a permit.
But
We didn't discuss engineering.
are you familiar with it, that you could answer that or no?
I do.
All right, for the record, you are,
Glenn Urquhart, Chief Building Official for the City of Flagler Beach. So if she was informed or contractor was informed that they needed a structural detail, that would have been by staff. So once they submit it, we would be able to review it and get it right back to her. So at this point, from the little bit I just heard, if they already have it and they could get it into me tomorrow, I could get it turned around and right back to them, and we could get that permit issued and go ahead and move on with the work that needs to be done.
Ms. Westbrook, did you hear what the building official just said?
Partially,
All right.
is it that the engineering information needs to be sent in because their turnaround is 2 weeks.
All right, well, so you're waiting on that at this point in time? Is that your understanding?
Sure.
Okay. Is there any way you could urge here's what was said. As soon as they get it, they will work with you to get that reviewed and turned around and hopefully approved as rapidly as possible so that you're not held up any longer. So what I'm going to suggest to you, because I know you can't tell me, without having conversations, is whether the engineer or the contractor can speak with the engineer to see if they could expedite that to get it done. Yeah, and the reason this is an issue is because we're in a kind of a extended period of non-compliance, and we're just trying to move this into the realm of having been resolved so that you don't have exposure to fines.
I understand, sir. And I actually don't have the document in front of me, but it was submitted, I think we're a week into the work.
Okay.
So we should be submitting it next week.
Oh, okay, and I understand this is probably not a major item in their queue.
That's the issue, is that the work log is such that the turnaround on this project is 2 weeks.
Okay, well, I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire other than asking you to just urge everyone in that process to do the best they can to get this taken care of as quickly as possible.
What I would say from the
Understood, and will do.
city side is as long as we have that engineering in and the permit issued by the next hearing date, we don't need to do anything further at this time. With this case, we'll allow that permit to play out, make sure the work gets done, and then we'll deal with the rest of the end. If we don't have the rest, if the permit's not issued by next hearing date, we'll set this up for another status conference to just update everybody.
Okay, did you hear what the city attorney said?
I did not.
Okay, he's saying as long as the engineering's been submitted, then the permit has been issued before the next hearing date, which would be August 26th, then we'll just leave things in process until work's been completed and we can dismiss this matter. But
we would still have more we wouldn't dismiss, we still have to make sure the work gets done, so we wouldn't have to bring it back for status at that point.
It would just end until the work's been done and I get a report that it's completed, at which point then it would be dismissed. I want to be clear.
Absolutely.
All right.
I can tell you that by August 26th, it should be in process because I'm hoping to hear early next week that the appropriate documents have been obtained from the engineering company.
All right. Well, the role you have in this is to ride herd on all those that are doing this.
Yes.
That's it. That's exactly it. And if you commit to doing that, then I'm going to do my best to work with you. How about that?
I commit to doing that, sir.
All right. And I know the city is not eager to do anything other than say thank you for getting it done.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody who's worked with me.
All right. Well, we're going to continue to do so as long as there's progress. Then you know that's the direction we need to go. Obviously, it needs to reach a point of being resolved, but we're not going to be unreasonable about expectations in that respect.
Thank you. I would rather than not rush a project it's not magnitude, it's just for safety reasons. I would rather than not rush the project to make sure it's done right.
Absolutely. That's the goal. Okay. Do you have anything else for me, or do we have clarity on where we're going?
Absolute clarity where we need to go.
All right. Well, thank you very much, ma'am. Anything further from the city?
No, sir.
All right. And John, here's what I would ask you to do as one additional item, and that is, you know how to reach John in code enforcement?
She deals with Gary probably more. She'd recognize Gary.
I'm sorry?
She would recognize probably Gary's name usually.
Oh, it's Gary. Gary, are you working with Miss Westbrook? Yes, sir. Okay, Gary is here. What I would ask you to do is keep Gary informed. Don't wait for him to have to ask you. If you would please accept the burden of being the one to initiate contact so that he knows what's going on. All right, then we're good in that regard. Very good, ma'am. Well, we're all set for today.
I appreciate it, and thank you for the short notice on doing this over the phone.
No problem. It's no intent to inconvenience you when you already have a challenge in transportation.
And you will have a status report before the 26th, but I will again meet with you all the 26th and hopefully appear in person.
And again, if we have that permit issued by then, she won't have to appear.
Did you hear what the city attorney said? If the permit's been issued and the work is in the process, appearance won't be required. That's it. We don't need to drag you in here unnecessarily.
So once we get the permit and once the work is, I know that the process is underway, we are good.
Correct. However, if for some reason that permit's not issued, I urge you to be here on the 26th.
Absolutely. I will make sure that we have everything, our ducks in a row with the permit.
Okay. All right, ma'am. You have a good afternoon.
You too. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So just for clarification, you want me to notice her as well for a status hearing in August, or?
Only if once we get to 10 days, once you're pushing up against your notice deadline, only if the permit has not been issued. If that permit's issued before then, no need to notice.
I would agree. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We have any other business today? All right. Let's an overview of what's coming around the corner for the record. Brand new? It's a different issue with this particular property.
There's two issues with that property. One of them is mowing and looking at the front overgrown. He's been here for that, but also a pool. So there's a pool in the back that's green now.
Is the pool area secured?
As far as we can tell, it's all we can.
Okay.
Being able to see, two houses over on the back of the deck of the
And the reason I ask that question is if there's any issue of it being compromised as far as security, where a child could gain ingress and access a pool where they could go into it and nobody would be able to see them, that in my mind is an emergency. So when is the building department going to have a drone?
We're actually in the process right now of I spoke with Mr. Martin about that. I got two guys. Actually spoke with Gary and John about it. I've got Todd with planning, as well as Justin Isaacs. We're putting them both through the training, so they'll once they get their license, then we'll obtain the drone.
107 certification.
Yep, and then we can then given permission to move forward with that, and then we'll have a drone in play, and then we can use that for situations like that as well as damage assessment. Now, in the past, when in other municipalities that I've dealt with pools and green pools, we view it as imminent danger.
I do.
Yep, and I know you do just by listening to you just then. So it's with kids. We know when we were young, we climbed fences and stuff.
Yep.
So at minimum, if they could at least empty the pool, then it would be, even though they have the fence around it, if we went after to where they could at least empty the pool and get the green out or clear it up so you could see it, because I've been around the circumstances where there have been kids that have drowned, but they couldn't find them because they were under the green. Then they ended up finding them, but it just creates a bad problem.
Well, here's a question. Is this your case, John? Or is it's yours? Have you had conversation with the property owner?
Not in a while. It usually takes quite a while till the last minute to
Get a response or get in touch. Are they resident there or absentee owner? Well, I mean, it's the city's discretion on how urgent you want to treat this, but my feeling, and it goes back to, what, if we failed to do everything that we should do or could do and didn't do so, and a child was to get in there and suffer either damage or fatality, I couldn't live with that.
I agree.
Any of us could.
Yeah, I think, there's very few pools in Flagler Beach that I think are in that green situations, but we could pursue it as imminent danger to the public safety. And the few that there are out there, maybe we could pursue it that way.
All right, well, I'll leave that to y'all's discretion on how you want to approach it, but I'm all about safety. I came out of an environment where if you talked on your cell phone while you were driving, you were fired. That's how serious.
I'll have a conversation with John and Gary as we're making a transition of them coming over to our department October 1st anyways, where even if it had to be by the building official declaring it imminent danger and not a code enforcement issue, but making a building issue, I would gladly go down that lane as well.
All right, well, I'll leave that in your discretion. The goal here is to prevent a tragedy.
100%.
That's all. It's not to be hard on property owners or anything else,
No.
But in my mind, they have a responsibility to recognize the potential hazard and deal with it appropriately.
I agree.
That's what we're talking about. All right. Any comment, Drew? Do you have any different opinion, or are you in accord?
At this point, in accord with everything that's been said so far. When we talk about the case specifically, I might have more, but right now, with the speaking of the abstractness.
And that's where I am. It has application here, but it also is a very general topic. All right. What else do we have in the loop?
We have one other one coming, I just can't right now think of.
So there's 3 or 2? 3. Okay, that's 2. Oh, it has 2 separate matters. Okay. All right, and we have 3 or 4 parking appeals.
Yeah, approximately 3 to 4. Yes, sir.
At last count.
At last count, yes.
All right. So, and is there anything else in the works that might appear in your world, or is that likely it for now? Okay. Anything else, Drew? All right. Well, thank you very much. It appears we may have a extended hearing in August, so hopefully not too late, but there'll be a number of matters. Won't be like today, which is fairly brief. Anything else? Gary, anything from you? Back to the drone. Is that going to be a drone in the building department or in code enforcement or shared or?
And since code enforcement will be with us, we 100% can utilize whatever pilots we have with that drone. We'll work together. Police has their own drone as well as fire, but this drone will be 100% utilized within the building department.
The question comes to my mind, if it's for code enforcement purposes, does it fall within the grasp of the restrictions that apply to law enforcement on drone utilization?
It's very similar.
So there are some boundaries that have to be, respected there.
Yes, and to give you a little bit of comfort in that, when I was in the other municipality, we had 10 pilots and 30 drones.
Oh, so you're
well versed in it.
Well.
I won't let you down.
It won't be my problem. Might be his problem. Yeah, they fudged it. All right, anything else, folks? All right, well, can I trust that clock? We're adjourned.